Welcome everyone to this introductory lecture of hydraulic engineering. It is a 3 credit course with 2 lectures and 2 practicals. We have 6 modules as per the syllabus, and we are going to start with boundary layer theory. Boundary layer theory, we have to study 6 different, broadly saying there are 6 subtopics within boundary layer theory, which are uh, which can be expanded to more. So we will start with the assumption and concept of boundary layer theory. So first question will be, why we should study boundary layer theory? The answer is, it plays an important role in aerodynamics, naval facilities, hydropower generation, and open channel flows. So, for proper design of aeroplanes, ships, power generation turbines, and open channels such as canals, the knowledge of boundary layer theory is very important and necessary. Next, the question is, what is boundary layer? So it is a narrow region of flow near a boundary in which all the viscous effects can be considered to be confined. It is applicable to fluid flows with relatively high values of Reynolds number. So this is very important. It is applicable to fluid flows with relatively high values of Reynolds number. So we have assumptions in boundary layer theory. I am telling, we will briefly say this here, and later on there will be a discussion on assumptions. First is large values of Reynolds number, and second is pressure variation can be calculated from potential flow solutions along the surface of the object. Now let us move to this diagram to understand boundary layer theory in a better way. Precisely, boundary layer is a thin layer adjacent to the solid surface in which the viscous effects are important. The thickness of boundary layer is very thin and it cannot be neglected. The velocity close to the solid surface will be same as the velocity of solid due to no slip boundary condition. This means if the fluid is flowing past a stationary solid surface, then at the interface of fluid and solid, the velocity of fluid will be 0. Now let us consider a flat plate, very thin flat plate, and through which a fluid has to pass. Okay. Let us take dimensions, consider coordinates x and y. Here y has been greatly magnified with respect to x. This is because in practice x, that is longitudinal direction, is very much greater than this lateral dimension y, and in such flows, since y is very small, it is very difficult to study the properties, and for the purpose of study we can enlarge y dimension as much as we require for the study. Now, the fluid just before encountering with the plate is having a uniform velocity of u. As the fluid moves in the x direction along the plate, those fluid particles that in contact with plate have zero velocity, that is at x equal to 0, due to the no slip boundary condition, and a velocity gradient exists between the fluid in the free stream and the plate. So we can see the velocity gradient encircled in the green. Here in this we can see from the velocity profile, near the plate it is 0, and as we move upward the velocity increases. Okay. The flow is retarded adjacent to the plate and the boundary layer begins. So at x equal to 0, if we look at x equal to 0, we see the boundary layer has started to form. At that adjacent at x equal to 0, the fluid has zero velocity in the interface region. Okay. However, at a distance far away from the plate, the velocity approaches the free stream velocity u, capital U, asymptotically. What we see from small u equal to 0 to small u equal to capital U, that is local velocity equal to free stream velocity. Near the plate it is 0, and as we move away along y, the local velocity approaches asymptotically to free stream velocity. Okay. Now at any location along the plate there is a distance delta. There is a distance delta normal to the plate where the local velocity is 99% of the free stream velocity. So what happens? The locus of all such points is called the boundary layer. That is, if we look at x equal to 0, the curve drawn in black starts. At that point, u is equal to 0.99 into, or in other words, 99% of free stream velocity. Local velocity is equal to 99% of free stream velocity. So all such points together make this boundary layer. Okay. Now the boundary layer thickness, if we define it delta, it is the boundary layer thickness is defined as the distance away from the solid surface where the local velocity is 99% of the free stream velocity. Okay. Now, as more and more fluid is slowed down, the thickness of the boundary layer increases in the downstream direction as we see the curve. Okay. At any axial location x, measured from the leading edge of the plate, that is from x equal to 0, the boundary layer thickness delta is very small compared to x. Obviously, we have enlarged y scale y, so delta will look larger than x, but in actual practice delta is very small compared to x. Okay. The flow field can be separated into two regions. Here the flow field can be separated into two layers. One is boundary layer region and the other is outer layer region. Okay. In the boundary layer region, both the inertia and viscous forces are important, whereas in the outer region, which is also known as inviscid region, the viscous forces are negligible. Okay, so the behavior of flow in the boundary layer with the distance x measured from leading edge of the plate, the behavior is governed by the magnitude of Reynolds number. We know what is Reynolds number. So here Reynolds number plays an important role in explaining the behavior of flow. Okay.